Hey guys, it's Coach Steve, and I've got this week's workout brief. Starting on Monday, we're going to start a new strength cycle for shoulder press. And in this strength cycle, we're going to do multiple weeks of 3 sets of 5, and we're going to do straight sets across all 3 sets. So this week, build to a moderately heavy 5, and then do 3 sets with that 5 reps. As soon as you're done with that, that's it. Don't need to do more. Next week, we're going to add weight, and we're going to continue to add weight. And the goal is to progressively load the shoulder press so that you're getting stronger with that 5 reps. Once we're done with that, we're going into a 12-minute AMRAP. And it's going to be 3 movements. Renegade row, where you're in a plank doing a row. And then with those same dumbbells, you're going to do 12 dumbbell front squats and then 250-meter row. And the idea here is that the weights are at a place where you can do unbroken, at least initially. It shouldn't be one of those that you're just going off and pushing the motor super hard, but it shouldn't just be a complete, the weight shouldn't just be a complete joke either. So go to a place that's moderately challenging. Maybe in those later minutes, you'll break those up just a little bit, but this should be a low enough reps. You can generally go through most of it without taking large breaks. On Tuesday, we're going to get into 3 rounds of some fairly technical movements. We're going to go 10 L pull-ups. That's where you do a pull-up with your legs hanging out in front of you, or scale that if you need to. 20 pistols, 30 sit-ups, and a 200-meter run. And the goal here is that this is going to take less than 15 minutes. We'll put a 20-minute time cap on this. And all of these should be mostly concerned with muscle fatigue minus the run. That should help flush things out a little bit, get your heart rate up, breathing a little bit. You shouldn't be going at a pace where you're just completely coming in from the run 100% exhausted. You should feel like you can kind of get back to the movements. Probably not going to do very many of these unbroken. You're probably going to break these up. And so just kind of keep that in mind. Those L pull-ups, those pistols, definitely going to want to go at a pace that you're not going to auger on those. It is only 3 rounds, however. So just kind of keep that in mind. And then once we're done with this, we actually do have a cash out. We're going 3 rounds for control of some stiff-legged deadlifts. On Wednesday, we're going to start off with a complex and practice of power snatch and overhead squats. This is just something that needs to be practiced, and we're going to go into and practice Olympic weightlifting for a couple of weeks. After that, we're going into a Metcon with just 2 movements. They're moderately technical, however. So we're going to go into 21 power snatches and 100 double unders, and then we're going to decrease the reps every round on those. And you generally should be able to do these in 2 to 3 sets or less. Shouldn't be a lot of breaking here. Don't feel like you should be doing singles on those power snatch. If that's the case, it's too heavy. We want to be chunking these into large chunks, either 2, maybe 3 sets. And at some point, you should be able to just do this unbroken since the reps are decreasing. Double unders, definitely want to be able to rattle those off in large chunks. That way you're getting that cardiovascular feeling from them. If not, go with single unders and do big sets. On Thursday, we're going to start off with some back squats, not necessarily going into a back squat cycle, just want to get some back squats in and kind of going for a decent load here. Nothing super crazy, just go for something that's moderately heavy for you. And then we're getting into a 20-minute AMRAP. 4 toes to bar, not very many. 8 kettlebell swings. These are full range of motion and heavy. So kind of keep that in mind. It's not a lot of reps, however, and 12 wall ball shots. Now, the fun thing here is the reps are really low. So you should be able to do all of the sets pretty well unbroken. Those toes to bar might kind of start to creep in as something you need to break. Maybe the swings. But generally, you're going to go unbroken for these. You just want to go at a nice, consistent, even pace. If you do need a break, it's short. Really, where you're going to take some break, not a lot, is during the transitions between movements, moving between stations. You should never feel like you're rushing any of these movements, but you shouldn't feel like you're just sitting there trying to catch your breath on any of this either. It's generally methodical workout for 20 minutes. On Friday, we're continuing our weighted pull-ups. Two reps this time, straight sets. Your last set, do as many reps as you can do. Should be heavier than last week, or if you're on bands, it should be a smaller band than last week, or the same band with more reps at the end. And we're getting into an 8-minute AMRAP. And this one's a little bit interesting. It's really more about as many reps as you can get. And it's going to build weight. So the first round, you're going to do 10 deadlifts at a pretty light weight. You should be able to do those no problem. 15 box jumps. It's going to make sure that your air is a little bit, you're breathing hard. You want to be breathing hard after those 15 box jumps. Then you're going to do more reps of deadlift, 15 at a slightly heavier weight. Still, again, it should be moderately heavy. You should not feel like this is a huge load for you. And then 15 box jumps. And we get into 20 deadlifts. And this is where the weight starts to get a little bit difficult. The weight and the reps start to add up here. You're probably going to do these going to break these up so you can maintain a good, even pace. And then 15 box jumps. And then we get heavier, 25 deadlifts at something that's moderately heavy. Probably going to do these in sets of, maybe 3 to 5. And then 15 box jumps, and then 30 deadlifts or 35 deadlifts at something that's very heavy. And keep in mind that 30 deadlifts is something that's pretty heavy. This is probably where you're not going to get to. This is a lot of reps. You're going to have to be moving very fast to get to this point. If that's the case, you're still moving though, and you want to be able to do these at just a consistent pace. At the lower levels, you don't even have to make this super difficult. You can go down to something that's just as simple as I'm going to stay with the same weights and the same reps and just keep doing that for 8 minutes. There's nothing wrong with that at all. We just want to deadlift and box jump or step up consistently for 8 minutes. On Saturday, we're going to wrap up our Black History February with a workout commemorating Chadwick Boseman. 5 rounds, 400-meter run, 25 push-ups, 15 pull-ups, 10 handstand push-ups, and 5 burpees. And this should be one of those things that first round doesn't feel super terrible. You can probably get through this one decently well at a decent amount of pace. But as each round adds up, it's going to get harder and harder. Goal here is that we're going to be able to do this in under 25 minutes with a 30-minute cap. Which means these movements have to be able to move at a decent pace. You shouldn't be breaking the push-ups into 3 or 4 reps. The handstand push-ups should generally go in 3 sets or less without a lot of resting in there. So just kind of keep that in mind. That's the goal here. If you need to scale one of the movements down or all of the movements down, definitely do so. These can be a little bit technical. So go to a place where you can be successful and get a really good, solid, total body kind of feel. You should both be breathing hard and muscles very fatigued by the end of this one. That's what we have coming up this week, guys. Look forward to seeing you in the gym. Bye.